Potentially separating runs based on controller types. Are they actually talking about that? Uh-oh, here comes a video. The SM community did what? Here it comes. Let's hear it. All right, here comes the hot drama. All right, here's what I think. Just real quick, and then I go on a 30-minute rant. Then I get myself in trouble with the SM community. Separating keyboard versus hitboxes. Okay, so let's just say fuck what it does for the run. Let's look at the differences between hardware, shall we? Okay, SM controller, membrane. These are connected. This is not mechanical, like a mechanical keyboard. There is a membrane underneath to where if I press left, there's a chance that me pressing left will also press up or down. So my input needs to be a little bit more precise, okay? With this controller as well, you have issues with the L and the R. And these controllers do pose some issues, all right? You hear me bitching about them often because they fucking suck, okay? But, so one thing that SNES controller will never have that a keyboard has, or a hitbox, is mechanical switches, essentially. So separated inputs. To where your left, your right, your up, and your down, which are the main things for this, are separated. You will never hit left and then you'll never have the mistake of hitting up or down when you just hit left on a hitbox or a keyboard. Now, what does this do for you? This gives you some interesting things that can't be done on controller. One of those things being you can press left and right at the same time, which is something that's not even the developers accounted for. So there's some weird shit that you can do. In this game, is it going to affect anything? Is it going to have some groundbreaking trick? It might in the future, but for now, it could. Because left and right in Super Metroid actually does do something. And it's for TASes. Left and right causes some weird shit where you can... It's like you can wall jump while maintaining momentum or some weird shit. I can't remember. It's really odd. But there's other weird things that you can do with left and right at the same time. So now there are things that can't be done on controller. Now, let's just pretend those things don't matter, because really, they're probably not going to matter too much at the end of the day. You're not going to see Eddie whipping out flatly jumps in every single room. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry, Eddie jumps. When you speedrun Super Metroid, one of the hardest things in this game to master is wall jumping. It is very difficult, and it's like unlike any other game. One of the issues is you have to go back and forth with your thumb, and you have to practice for just hundreds, and if not thousands of hours, to try to get the right thumb position, to try to like, you just get good at it, okay? It takes a long time. Now, with hitbox or keyboard, you don't have to worry about any of that, because you will never press up, you will never press down. One of the biggest things when you're starting to get good at this game, and it does take upwards of 1,000+ hours to get good at wall jumping. I'm still trying to get good at wall jumping, and I've been playing for 12,000+ hours. Is not pressing up or not pressing down. You can press up when you're wall jumping. Sometimes you'll see on my input display that I will press up when I'm doing the climb. That's because you have a little bit more lenience because of how you're turning around, and it doesn't actually break you out of spin unless you let go of jump. You will never have that issue with keyboard or hitbox. You could have TAS-like wall jumps with those two things, because you will never break out of spin unless you smash your hitbox or keyboard. All you have to do is you're just alternating left and right. You cannot hit up. Well, you can, but you know what I mean. I have 12,000 hours in this game, and I still practice wall jumps in optimizing rooms and shit. And I still break out a spin every now and again, you know? So those are the differences in the game. Every input it's all individual, it's all separated from other inputs, and it's all its own thing. Now, does that mean that a hitbox player or a keyboard player has a significant advantage? Thank you for the 300. I think that Eddie is capable of doing everything he does on hitbox on controller. Yo, Eddie, you can send the payment directly to my PayPal, dude. Okay. Just like we talked about. So I think Eddie could do just fine. So that's why I think Eddie should be allowed to use hitbox. Thanks, dude. Yeah, $1,000. What? Forgot to mute? Okay. For real, though, I think that I'm going to be honest. I almost don't care. My opinion might change if Eddie gets good at the game and beats my time. But until then, I don't know if I care too much if he's playing on hitbox or people are playing on keyboard. There will be things that you can't do on a controller that you can do on keyboard and hitbox, always. And you can always be way more precise with keyboard or hitbox. That is undeniable. But is it a big enough issue to where it should be separated? I don't know. I might have to sleep on this, you know? There are disadvantages and advantages. Actually, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there's any disadvantages to playing on a hitbox or keyboard. The only disadvantage that I would have switching was getting good at it. And when I've done some theory task work on emulators, I set up my keyboard to have like a good flow, and I'm actually really decent at keyboard quickly. Like within an hour of doing stuff, I'm like wall jumping very fast. I'm playing quite well. You know what I mean? So that would be the biggest disadvantage. But other than that, I don't think there's any. That's the thing too. So then we get into the argument of ergonomics. Okay. And then we turn into release day dread community. Okay, I'm not talking shit on the dread community. I'm just saying there was some conflict. And obviously you guys know I was a part of that conflict. And I know that will arise. Like, for ergonomics, I need to play on a keyboard. So I guess my question is, how many people would switch to keyboards or hitbox because of ergonomics? Like, what percentage of runners? And is that percentage of runners enough to make a rule to where it's separated? No, it's fine. It's a valid argument to talk about that. I think the only time that becomes a problem is when, like, there's a few people that say, well, ergonomically speaking, I need to do this. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want to make that clear. But then they use that as a justification to use a very superior method of playing this game. You know what I mean? Mad Catz controllers. Yeah, dude. 1000 turbo. Yep. People are just like skipping Bomb Chorizo with their eyes closed. Okay, even if you had turbo controller for LNR, you wouldn't consistently get Bomb Chorizo skip. I don't even think you would get it at all. It's too complicated. Yeah, and it's also a 50-50. Those little GameCube controllers, the Mad Cat ones, those were cool. Every cool kid had those ones. Then as I got a little bit older, I realized how awful they were. Just complete shit. I do really like the GameCube controller. GameCube controllers suck ass. I'm gonna pretend I didn't read that. Permanently, if hitbox was allowed, I'd probably just switch to that because honestly, it is more ergonomic. But if it had to be like a handheld, I don't know, PS4 controller, maybe, or an Xbox. Probably an Xbox One controller. It's my favorite D-pad, is the Xbox One D-pad. It's probably that. The Power Glove, hell yeah, dude.